A narcissist does not have a sexual self the way healthy people do. There is no center that says, this is who I am, this is what I desire, this is how I connect. There is only hunger. The hunger is for what? Supply, attention, for the high of being desired and admired. When you were with him, the male narcissist, you were asked to play the part of the perfect wife, the perfect partner, and the perfect witness. He wanted you there to confirm that he was desirable, respectable, normal, and successful. He also wanted you there as a cover. He could keep his private excitement hidden while using you as proof that he was straight, faithful, or spiritually pure. This is why the moment you leave, everything spills out. The craving for supply does not stop. And without you to manage his image, he runs straight into the places and the bodies that promise the fastest hit. What you see looks like a revelation of their sexual orientation. In many cases, it's the collapse of the mask. He becomes what I call whatever sexual. He will take validation wherever he can get it from other men. The arousal is less about connection and more about manipulation, though. It's secrecy and getting away with it. That's a thrill. It is in the rule breaking and cheating and the story he can tell himself about how untouchable he is. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Today, we are going deep into how narcissistic men reveal their true sexual self when you leave them. Now, before we get started, I want you to know this space is safe for people of all sexual orientations and identities. Nothing here is an attack on any orientation. The focus is deception, exploitation, and the way a narcissistic man sacrifices a partner to protect his image. Many men, that is not what we are discussing. We are talking about men who hide, use, and betray while preaching morals they do not follow. With a narcissistic man, sex is part of a show. He may be attentive, seductive, and skilled when an audience is needed. He may also become cold when the audience is no longer exciting. The performance is for supply. When you leave, the performance does not stop. It simply moves to a new stage. You will notice a sudden shift in language, clothing, grooming, and social spaces. He will mirror whatever gets him the fastest applause. He can move from conservative family man to nightlife explorer in days because there was never a stable identity to begin with. Your departure creates a vacuum. Shame, rage, and fear flood him, and he needs a quick fix. That urgency produces extreme behavior, should I say, reveals his true self. He throws a wide net, any gender, any dynamic, any scene that will confirm he is special, he matters. Don't mistake this for exploration in a tender sense. It is a scramble for oxygen. When people say he suddenly came out as gay after you left, what they are often seeing is a man who no longer has a handler for his image and who is starving for supply. The speed of the shift is the giveaway. Genuine self contact usually unfolds slowly and carefully. His shift looks like a binge. For these reasons, many survivors describe the feeling of being a bear of such a man without realizing it during the relationship. Look at the hypocrisy. He insists on couple selfies, family dinners, church attendance, or business events where your presence confirms the story that he wants others to believe he is straight. When you leave, though, the front stage collapses. He no longer needs the alibi. The people he flirted with in coded ways now get direct messages. The bars and gyms and chat rooms he swore he never visited now show up in his location history. The friend he defended a little too fiercely becomes an overnight partner. The mask did not shift because you were not enough. It fell because the prop walked off the stage. Which brings us to narcissistic arousal. It's tightly bound to secrecy and transgression. Hiding feels powerful. Getting away with it feels godlike. During the relationship, the rush came from lying to your face, compartmentalizing, and controlling what you knew. After the breakup, after you left them, the rush comes from crossing lines he used to pretend he respected. You may see risky encounters, anonymous connections, and a shocking disregard for safety. You may hear bragging wrapped in spiritual language about freedom and authenticity. The message is the same. He is chasing a high, not a person. The proof of all of this is how he collects proof, screenshots of compliments, photos that signal belonging to a new scene, stories about how many people wanted him in a single night. None of this reads like a quiet relief of something finally coming home to themselves. Like I'm talking about them coming out. It reads like a salesman stacking testimonials. He needs confirmation that he is desirable to everyone. He will claim that this is his true self waking up. But if you look deeper, you will see an addiction to being seen as desirable by as many eyes as possible playing out. After you leave, identity becomes the new weapon. He rewrites history to cost you as the obstacle to his truth. He tells friends you were oppressive or jealous. He hints that you hated a certain group, even if you never did. He positions his new partners as evidence of his bravery. He's not simply coming out, he's using identity to humiliate you, to paint you as homophobic, and to pull sympathetic supply from the crowd. He wants applause for the reveal and pity for having to endure you. This is triangulation dressed in rainbow paint. Almost all the survivors of this kind of abuse I have talked to say the puzzle pieces click after the breakup. The late nights with a male friend who always needed help, the hotel trips that did not fit the story, the way his eyes followed certain bodies while he loudly commented on women to keep the show going, the porn history scrubbed too clean to be normal, the flirtation he brushed off as jokes. You were trained to doubt your intuition. Oh, you're thinking too much, you're going crazy. But when you leave, the pattern gets loud enough that your body finally believes what it knew. Trust that now. You're not crazy for connecting the dots, it's happening for real. He is not who he pretended to be. The other aspect of all of this is age. With age, they also show who they are. Age changes the game for a narcissist. Their looks fade, stamina drops, and the easy supply that came from youth dries up. An aging narcissist shifts toward the market where he can trade status for attention, money for attention. He may target younger men with gifts and promises. He may seek relationships in scenes where his title or money still carry weight. He frames it as freedom. Oh, I know who I am now. In reality, he's moving to a field where the transaction still favors him. It's not somebody, who is coming out with their age and knowing what they want. It's not about their orientation. It's the exposure of a lifelong habit of treating people as dispensable. Another rarely named piece is how a narcissistic man can fetishize the very community he suddenly enters. He learns the language in a week. He copies the haircut, the slang, and the politics at record speed. He makes himself a savior, a victim, or a star, depending on what gets the loudest cheer. He chases novelty and uses the community as a vending machine for validation. That is not belonging, that is extraction. People inside the community eventually feel it because the energy is not relational. It is predatory. He is not interested in building a newly found life, he is interested in being fed. When you finally see the reveal, a storm of emotions hit. There is rage that you feel over the years stolen and the risk you were exposed to. There is grief because you realize you were never truly met as a full person. There can also be relief though. You are not imagining the lack of intimacy you felt. You were not frigid or boring or prudish. You were not ugly, overweight, or smelly. No, it was their problem, the thing they were hiding. You were trying to make a home with someone who was using the relationship as a costume, you as a beard. The intimacy you craved could never grow because the person beside you was an actor who never intended to live in the house he built. This does not mean every man who comes out later in life is narcissistic. No, many people discover themselves with honesty and courage. They tell the truth, repair what can be repaired, and do not exploit partners. This also does not mean that a narcissist's interest in the same sex was created by you leaving. Your leaving removed the cover and cut off supply line. The behavior was there in shadows. It simply moved faster into the light when the mask cracked. You need to fully understand identity, orientation, and morality are costumes. The costume that earns the most applause gets worn. When you were near, the costume that paid best was the one that made him look devoted to you, a straight man. After you stepped away, the costume that paid best was the one that gave them quick access to bodies, novelty, and admiration. The reveal is not a moment of soul honesty. I'm saying it again. It's the next marketing campaign. To bring it all together, if you're seeing this pattern in your life with that narcissistic man, you're not alone. You're not crazy for noticing what you're noticing. Those signs are real. You're not cruel for naming the deceit. You're not homophobic. Your story does not end with his reveal, it begins with yours. The most powerful decision you can make is stop trying to manage his image and start protecting your own reality. You will not win a game that was designed to keep you trapped, confused, second guessing. You will win by walking out of the theater and choosing a life that does not need an audience to be real. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this episode. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.